Welcome to VSB News Online for Tuesday, June the 23rd. I'm Charles Webb. The Coalition for the Protection of Children has been working behind the scenes with the Health Department to provide family planning advice and funding for interested couples. Director Sheila Cooper explains what she hopes to achieve.
At the Coalition, we have been providing free access to family planning for years. We have a relationship with the health department, so that if a woman comes in and wants some type of family planning and can't afford it, they will come to the Coalition and we'll pay. And part of the reason why we ran that campaign is to let people know that that is available to them. It's a discussion we don't often have in Bermuda, and one that I've felt for some time. We need to have a chat about that now.
What more can we do than make it available through you? It's almost a kind of mindset in a way.
Yeah, I think planning. It's about planning. I don't want to be accused of supporting as some sort of effort toward birth control. This is about planning, and it's directed toward everybody.
People who want it.
Yes.
No one's being forced to do anything.
No, of course not.
No, that's always a very controversial thing. We've tried all kinds of messages in the past, but Bermuda's population isn't exactly exploding, is it?
No, it's not exploding. It's not really about that. It's about being able to have the time to really nurture and support your children and
afford them.
And afford them, yeah.
So you are obviously picking up people along your route who are regretting the day that they had a child and not realizing what the world was coming to.
I do see that a lot, and we had focus groups before we even started thinking about this commercial, talking to women, and the overwhelming message was that babies are a gift, and we're very supportive of that. I believe they are. But it's a gift that you really want to look after properly and support and nurture. And having too many makes it difficult.
Ms. Cooper was asked for her reaction to the government plan to require mothers who seek financial assistance to first go to the courts to seek support from the father of the child.
I think forcing a woman who is not receiving child support to take the father to court is problematic. First of all, it's damaging to the relationship. Secondly, it very seldom works. They may get a judgment, but then he won't pay very often. It certainly is something that can be used as a measure of last recourse, and I would support it at that point. But initially, I think the best approach is to come to a mediation. We've been running the family mediation now for 10 years, and it's been very successful.
A truck driver has been arrested on suspicion of driving while impaired after he lost control of his vehicle on South Road, Devonshire, at 5:39 this morning and plowed into two early morning walkers. The accident, which took place near the junction with Vickers Bay Road, led to a major traffic diversion as police processed the site. The two walkers, a 52-year-old woman and a 32-year-old man, were taken to hospital with injuries that are not believed to be life-threatening. The simple act of driving a car is causing damage to Bermuda's amphibious creatures. This according to Bermuda Zoological Society Education Officer, Dr. Jamie Bacon.
We really need to reduce vehicle emissions. We know that vehicle emissions are a major source of the hydrocarbons and metals in both the atmosphere and in road runoff. So we are getting all these contaminants we're concerned about through either the atmosphere or from road runoff getting into the ponds. We need to try and reduce our fossil fuel combustion. So if we can get through electric vehicles or hybrid vehicles, even vehicles using liquefied natural gas will be benefit. But we are constantly putting these contaminants in the environment, and I think the only way we're going to see any progress is if we reduce the amount that we are putting into the environment every day.
But is there, I mean, realistically, is there a chance that even Bermudians will start looking at giving up their fuel-guzzled cars?
I know when we were in Cayman on holiday that there was somebody importing electric cars, and he was very keen on saying that Cayman might be a great place to just try and universally go electric vehicles. Bermuda would seem to be an ideal place to try and go, at least for personal vehicles, to be as electric as possible.
Dr. Bacon sums up the extent of the damage being done on a daily basis.
Mostly they are the feet problems. Any way you can deform a foot, I've seen it, but then it gets to where the limbs are missing. You can be missing both hind limbs, even both forelimbs, or a number of facial defects where an eye's missing or an eye's much too small, even one of the protective eye pads growing on the face, on the nose. So we have mostly limb or facial defects. In the fish, it's mostly jaw deformities that we see.
They're called the ensign group and comprise all the merchant fleet that fried the red ensign. This prestigious group of British shipping registers are meeting at the Grotto Bay Beach Resort, and for Bermuda's shipping registry, it could mean big business. Co-chair of the conference, Sir Alan Massey, who is Chief Executive UK Maritime and Coast Guard Agency, explains.
We're talking about, so how can we make the Bermuda flag more attractive to more shipping companies so that more customers will come and actually it'll be benefit to the Bermudan economy. And of course, if it's a benefit to the Bermudian economy, it's benefit to the whole of the British family of nations, if you like, economy. So that's what it's all about. And of course, shipping is a big part of your lives. You might not realize it, but of course you are an island in the middle of the Atlantic, not quite the middle, but in the Atlantic. You depend on sea trade, and it's quite helpful if the ships coming to and from Bermuda are safe and properly manned and properly equipped and don't sink. And so we have a big input into that.
Well, speaking of safety, I mean, are there any drawbacks for having membership in the Red Ensign?
No, quite the opposite. I mean, we pride ourselves on being a very quality fleet. Doesn't matter whether it's a UK ship, a Bermudian ship, Gibraltar or St Kitts or whatever. We pride ourselves on high safety standards because let's look at the sea. I mean, all of our trade goes by sea, lots of passengers. You don't want disasters happening at sea, and so we do everything we can to make sure ships are safe, that crews are properly trained, they're properly manned, they've got all the right kit on board, they're all drilled in emergency procedures, and we enforce standards quite rigidly to make sure that happens. But at the same time, we've got to be commercially attractive, because it's no point being, high quality and safe and having no ships on our flag, because then we can't influence anything.
According to Captain Pat Narawatney, Chief Marine Surveyor for the Bermuda Department of Marine Administration, Bermuda is working hard to keep its end up.
That's what we're doing all the time. It's a matter of promotion, and it's a matter of talking to the people and making our making sure that our standards are maintained. And it's always it's an ongoing process of getting more and more ships. But at the same time, we'll have to make sure we have the resources to maintain the standards, international as well as our local standards. So we are doing our best. Of course, during the trying economy, right on the global economy, it's hard. But still, within the last few years, we have managed to attract good ships and quality ships to the registry, and we are doing fairly good now.
And we'll be back with more news right after this.
At the Coalition for the Protection of Children, we believe that children are a gift. We all want to be able to give them all the time, nurturing, and financial support they need.
But raising kids today can be expensive.
You can spend more than $1,500 on diapers, $1,500 on baby food, and another $1,500 on formula. Why daycare can run you $9,000 to $10,000 a year. Then on to school uniforms for almost another $1,000. And we haven't even gotten to college yet. There are many options available for planning your family. The Coalition for the Protection of Children is there to help you decide. And don't worry about the expense of family planning. They are there to help you with that too. Just call or drop by their office anytime.
Bermuda's postal rates are going up for the first time in 15 years on July the 1st, but the amount of the increase is too complicated to be given as a percentage. However, Brian Darby has the general picture.
The Bermuda Post Office will be making across-the-board increases to its postal rates as of July the 1st to offset increased global costs for doing business. Local and international letter mail, parcels and international data express will be affected in an effort to play catch-up with increases in the United States, Canada and the UK over the last 15 years. There has not been a rate increase in Bermuda on the majority of its products since 2000. The 2015 rate change project will adjust rates in respect of costs while taking the opportunity to modernize the postal product categories, weight increments and transit route references for local and international mail. The sale of stamps and terminal dues represent 74% of the Bermuda Post Office's annual revenue. Modernization will also be on the cards and will see the introduction of other revenue-generating initiatives. Brian Darby reporting for VSB News.
The 17th World Rose Convention on the World Federation of Rose Societies, held in Lyon, France, has awarded the Bermuda Rose Society its Literary Award for Excellence for its latest edition of the book Roses in Bermuda. 32 countries were on hand to hear the judge's decision and to see President Peter Holmes and Treasurer Marichke Peterich receive the award. His thanks went to editor Lee Davidson and her committee for their years of work revising the book. And one of the committee is Essie Hans, who talks about the magic of Bermuda's roses.
What is it about the book that you're particularly proud of?
It's a liturgy award. So it is the content of the book that won us the award.
And Bermuda's history and Bermuda's major story is one. If you read the book, you'll know the story.
That's right. That's right. Within each picture that's in the book, there is the information about the rose, how to grow the rose, the color, the shape. Identification is really important.
What is it? We have mystery roses. We have roses that don't exist anywhere else in the world. How did that come about?
Well, basically it was on the China Trail to France, and then France to the U.S., and obviously the boat stopped here and the roses stayed. And over the years, the roses sported its own identity as Bermuda roses. And the mystery is that we still can't identify some of them, so they're called mystery roses.
And that's unique.
That's unique, yes. Well, unique in every country, because different soils, different temperatures, different everything, so roses grow differently. So you might spot a red and white rose that we call the Smith's Parish red, and you might spot that somewhere else that looks very similar to it, but the DNA of the roses would probably be different.
So DNA is making the difference.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes.
There's some great stories about Bermuda going off in the Bermudians in their schooners as far as the Far East and coming back with potted plants of various kinds for the loved ones, and roses were among that list. Did that help too?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that's part of the trade from way back. But I think the interesting part from our side and here is where we've identified some of the roses and where we found them. You know, there's the history, such as Emmy Gray being named after a school principal, Elm Lodge, which might be a familiar name to people, and we have the Elm Lodge rose. So there's a little bit of history in there.
Oh, in terms of hundreds?
Oh, a few hundred, I should think. I haven't sat down and counted them, but there's quite a lot of roses. I mean, we have, just coming to the annual exhibition, you'll spot on the Rose Building the numerous number of roses that are in the competition. So.
4 men, including 2 Bermudians, will attempt to swim the English Channel in early July to raise money for 4 charities that benefit Bermuda and Nepal. Earl Baisden met the 2 Bermudians practicing at the sports stadium pool this afternoon, namely Jeff Conyers and John Tomlinson. It was Mr. Conyers who answered the question, how did the challenge come about?
Because an idiot like him decided that it was a really good idea, and he tried virtually everybody in Bermuda, except me, which he finally cornered one morning off in North Shore, and foolishly I said yes. So here we are. But it's John's idea, it's a great idea, and we're all in it together. The other 2 are in England. They've had the advantage of training in sort of relatively moderate conditions here. It's, you know, very cold and very, very difficult actually. 82 degrees here in the pool. I'm a Bermudian, what can I say?
Why do you think it's a good idea to do this, and what do you think the ultimate outcome will be?
Well, there's a young lady here, Emily Burrell, who works at Hiscox. She told me about her endeavour, I think 2 years ago, and I was quite inspired by that, and I thought when I was a young child about the whole channel crossing and the romance of it, and I figured that we should also do it. And as Jeff said, I found it very difficult to recruit people, and in fact, out of 60,000 people in Bermuda, Jeff was the only person that succumbed to my persuasion, and which he's very happy about. And we are intending to raise money for four very worthy charities. Two of them are Bermuda-based, and two of them are Nepal-based. And we thought about Nepal because my son's going to Nepal with Soltis next year, and I've been to Everest Base Camp. It's a fabulous country, and the recent earthquake raised its profile. So Cat Kids and Adara are the two Nepalese charities that we're proposing to raise funds for, and YouthNet and SCARS are the two local charities that we're raising money for.
And now we turn to Earl Baisden with the latest from the sports desk.
The first boat crossed the line in the 2015 Marion Bermuda race was Mischievous after 7 p.m. last evening. Mischievous rocked down the rum line to Bermuda at some 10 to 11 knots. The sleek white sloop, skippered by Charles Cahill, is the big boat in the Mass Maritime Academy stable. She's being sailed by a youthful crew of cadets. For much of the race, she was the leader in the A class, but when they crossed the line, they stood in 4th place on corrected time according to the Yellow Brick data. Defiance, the Swan 56, is in 2nd, and J46 Ariel moved into 3rd place. More and more boats are expected in over the course of the day, this evening, and tomorrow. Once all the boats have arrived and the calculations have been done, we'll be able to bring you the overall category winners for the Marion to Bermuda race for 2015. The Bermuda Streetball hockey team went down in their 3rd game during the World Streetball Championships currently going on in Switzerland. Bermuda went down 15-1 to a more experienced Canadian team. Within 6 minutes, Canada held a 3-0 lead in the first period after getting goals from Jonathan Dusk, Matthew Tremblett, and Dustin Kelly. But with 13:39 going off the clock, Bermuda's first goal of the 2015 tournament came off the stick of Troy Dort. That was to be Bermuda's last joy as Canada ran off 12 unanswered goals. Canada got 2 more goals from Kelly, as well as double strikes from Franklin Gustini and Dominique Morrissey, while Kevin Kumarski, Simon Golducci, Jeremy Paradis, Nelson Vargas Diaz, Stephen Dialbidi, and Victor Azevedo all added a goal each. In a press conference earlier today, the Bermuda Cricket Board announced the under-18 national team that will represent Bermuda in Bermuda during the ICC Americas Division I tournament.
Delray Rollins, captain. Alex Dorr, Charlie Smith, Charles Trott, Cameron Jeffers, Anzari Painter, Shaquille Outerbridge, Chenoy Bean Wilson, Micah Simons, Jordan Smith, Isaiah Richardson, Sanjay Deal, Nairobi Carmichael, and Jed Morrissey. The 4 standby players are Sheldon Caesar, Azande Ferbert, Antoine Seaman, and Michael Elman.
I feel as if I got the opportunity to impress our country, and I feel as if the team is strong, and we are pretty much prepared for this tournament, and I think we're going to do very well.
So like when our opening bowlers give us a good start, it's really upbeat, up-tempo, you know, but sometimes if they don't come, and you know, we're human, if they don't come good, then the spinners will have to take over and fresh change.
6 up-and-coming youth cricketers, including USA international Stephen Taylor and Canadian Nikhil Dutta, will have the chance to play with and against some of the best names in the world cricket after being added to the Hero CPL squads after impressing in a training camp. This announcement leaves Bermuda's Christian Burgess on the outside looking in. Meanwhile, the Bermuda Cricket Board's Premier and First Division matches took center stage this past weekend, and today we bring you the top performers with both bat and ball. In the batting department, Onias Bascom from St. George's Cricket Club had the best knock of the weekend, scoring 102 against Somerset Bridge in their First Division match, while for Craig Crockle scored 89 not out for St. David's Cricket Club against Willicotts. Chris Fogle from Cleveland County scored 87 not out in his team's game against St. David's Cricket Club on Saturday. Malachi Jones from Bayless Bay returned the best bowling figures of the weekend. He bowled 5 overs, he had 2 maidens, he took 5 for 14, while figures of 10 overs, 3 maidens, 4 for 44 saw Justin Pitcher, representing St. David's Cricket Club, record the second best figures of the weekend. Andrew Griffith from North Village had the third best figures of the weekend. He bowled 9.1 overs, he took 4 for 60. The 2015 Bank of Bermuda Foundation ITF Junior Circuit Tennis Tournament continued at the W.E.R. Joe Tennis Stadium yesterday. In girls under 18, the number 1 seed, Naomi Waters from USA, defeated fellow compatriot Sarah Jamal in straight sets 6-1, 6-1, while Elizabeth Mendelek from USA defeated Gabriela Torino from Brazil in straight sets 6-2, 7-5. In the girls under 18 singles, number 6 seed Jacqueline Pelter bowed out of the tournament, going down in straight sets 6-4, 6-3 to Jennifer Cardallo. It was a tough day on the court for Bermuda players. Kayla Ming went down in straight sets in the girls under 18 division to the number 2 seed Julia Goldberg from USA 6-1, 6-1. While Tanner Boyle went down in straight sets 6-3, 6-1 to Zachariah Gardner from the USA in their boys 18 singles match. Dimitri Bird from the USA defeated Luke Sterling in straight sets 6-1, 6-3 in their boys under 18 singles match. I'm Earl Baston reporting for VSB Sports.
Looking at the weather for Wednesday, June the 24th, there will be sunny periods with passing shower or two. Winds will be southwesterly and moderate. We're expecting a high near 86 and a low near 78. This weather forecast is courtesy of the Bermuda Weather Service. Well, thank you for watching VSB News Online for Tuesday, June the 23rd. I'm Charles Webb.